We have our honored elders from the directions, from the center, here, first to tell us just a little bit about themselves, because some of them haven't really had much chance to speak, and then primarily to be here with you, because as I said in all of the literature that I put out about this, and I know many of you responded to that, for me and Kallista and Karen, this is a gathering. This is not a conference. We're not here to just listen and passively let a lot of talk go on. I really want this to be a gathering where we dialogue, where we have a chance with this collective wisdom of these incredible people to hear them and then to ask them in a respectful, honoring way and see what they have to tell us. Because if we are, as a species, a human species, to have a place on this planet in 100, 200 years from now, it must begin with gatherings. It must begin with dialogue. It must begin with open-heartedness. That's the space that I hope and I feel in my heart that we're creating here. And as soon as we do that, we know, and that's why it had to be in Sedona from my point of view, because the red rocks here, our crystal, that energy takes it out across all of Turtle Island, and from Turtle Island to the rest of our world.
And I asked the support of the guidance of Flora de Maya and the grandmothers about this, and I appreciate that. And so we were wondering, here the Arctic leaders are now going to lead this world prayer, and we're asking your advice. Here's this opportunity. Here's this maybe a boat or a helicopter. And what other advice could you give to be able to help us in prayer and ceremonies and unity come together and help keep the Arctic Circle cool and balance nature so that the water and all the weather can be in balance? And what would you say?
We have a healing lodge where I come from, and my father went out and fasted for 10 days. He went without food and water, and he took his fire and his tobacco, and he asked the Creator to give him a vision where people could come and get healed. And in that vision, one of the stipulations was that healing and politics don't mix. And we can see that today because we do a lot with our healing lodge, and the government has no say in it. Teach your young ones to learn to appreciate, because when we stop giving thanks, that's when we lose. We take so much for granted today, so much for granted. We take for granted that we're going to get up in the morning. We take for granted we're going to have daylight. We take for granted we're going to have the sun. We take for granted we're going to have the snow. We should be saying thank you for that stuff, because without it, we would not survive. So teach your little ones to appreciate.
This prayer is about giving love and appreciation to Mother Earth and spreading that amongst all the cultures that you have held on to, and you can speak to Mother Earth. And this is to help be a bridge between your wisdom and those who lost it in the Inquisition and the Roman Empire. But we all had it. We were all indigenous at once.
I was so happy when I heard the news that the United States and Canada were going to get together and work on that, what's that layer? Ozone layer? Right. They were going to put their heads together and finally do something about it. And then about 2 minutes after that, there was another news bulletin. They were going to send a rocket spaceship up to the moon. To me, they're defeating their purpose. I had an operation. I got a new hip. After my operation, all I did was cry. And I went and seen a medicine woman, and that woman told me that I tore my aura, and I didn't know what she was talking about. So they gave me a cedar bat to prepare that aura, and I stopped crying. I feel good today. Our Mother Earth has an aura too. Every time they send a rocket ship up to the moon, it hurts her, it tears that aura. If the Creator wanted us on the moon, I'm sure he'd have put up escalators so we could all enjoy it.
Well, I already sent a message to the Moon Indians up there. They're not going to let you land. anymore, you know. Be careful what you pray for. They asked Crow Dog in Iowa, they had a drought, to come down and pray for rain. Because they had tried everything, seeding the clouds, everything. So Crow Dog went down and held a ceremony, and it started raining. It was raining good. About a week later, he got a call from the same farmer asking him, how do you turn it off? Because it was flooding. Everything was flooding. So you got to watch out. You know, if those guys cause the snow over there, believe me, all the prayers in the world aren't going to stop the Arctic ice from melting. It's not going to stop Greenland from melting. It's not going to stop Antarctica from melting. You know, it's too late. It is too late. And unless you get out there and start finding out and talking to the ants and the spiders and the snakes and the trees and the clouds and finding out who your neighbors are, and I don't mean humans, then you're on the right track. You know, you're on the right track. But it's probably too late for the human race right now. I'm on the side of my mother, the earth. You know, in our language we call them grandmother. I'm rooting for her, you know. And so far, the patriarchal societies on earth have been a scab upon her. And it's turned into a cancer. So I'm rooting for Grandmother Earth to get rid of the scabs. You know? And I'm going to live long enough to say Bush slide into oblivion.
Thank you. Sir, is that going to help you with your answer?
You know, also, for every sunset, there is a sunrise. There's hope. It's continued hope. And along with continuance, there should be considered deliberation through respect and intention. There's always hope. So you continue. Life continues on, so you must continue with your action.
Yeah, hey, yo. Oh,